live? We're live. Okay. So I'm going to work on the rest of this, I think. Bring it up here. Do a cleanup and see where we end up today. So yeah, I want to get kind of, I don't know if I can get the rest of this together, but we can certainly try. Yeah. So do a little bit of cleanup while you guys are trickling in here. Yeah, a little bit of cleanup. Let's see where this goes. I don't know if I can get this all the way together, but maybe it's possible. Possible. Okay. Maybe work on this stuff. Let's see what we got here. Our plate. This is the plate that goes behind the clutch. And some carburetor pieces. Okay. This is clutch stuff. Put that over there. Okay. Gas and oil caps. I see 4 people here. Who's here? It really is another part that you might want to get OEM on. The gas and oil caps. Just because. Cap right there for the moment. Hey, Bob. How you doing? I should get like a small box of stuff I'm not going to need. That'll be smart, right? Stuff I am going to need. So, just trying to sort through things here. Figure out what I'm going to need, what I'm not going to need. Spare parts, this, that, the other. Farmer Tech rings. Hang on to them, but caber rings, those are always nice. Let's put that down there. Hey, Craig. OEM worm. That's going to be necessary here in a minute. Why would those be together? Looks like a flywheel nut and some random plate screw, I think. Nice. Nice to have a new place, huh? I'll bet this. Hold that plate on? Maybe? I don't know. Put that over there for the moment. Get rid of that. It's garbage. So sorting through all this stuff, what a pain. These are exhaust bolts and screws. Okay, so again, I'll put that over here for the moment. Don't need that. This gasket I don't need. Seal I don't need. Wrist pin bearing. So all this, that gasket I don't need for now. Little screws, I will need those pretty soon. Starter screws, I think. Handle screws. There's bolts and nuts. These may be a part you want OEM, but right now we'll put these in. Started a complete remodel of the bathroom. Yikes, that's a job. These don't need to be down absolute tight, just that's it. And you can I double nut these, but or you can if you want to. That's it. Those pieces I'll need later. 2 short screws. Maybe for the oiler. Exhaust gaskets. Put that over there. One of those, that's fine. That one then. Seals. Coarse thread, that would be for the handle, I think. More coarse thread for the handle. Carburetor. Oh, here's the heat shield. I guess we can put that on now. And other short bolts. Oh, look, another heat shield. So lots of heat shields. Okay. Start going through things and putting stuff on and whatnot. Why not, right? Actually, I have no idea how that heat shield goes. Doesn't even look like it fits, to be honest. Need to cut it to. If I needed to cut it to fit, I would get one that's not custom. I'd just use some heat tape. That's pretty silly, right? Just use regular old aluminum heat tape, which I have tons of. Close enough. Of course, I will cut it a little bit. Great. did. It looks like it sort of might fit over there, but it doesn't quite fit over here. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Okay. Next. I guess I could do the muffler now. Do I have it? Yeah, I got the muffler. And I have a highway front for this. It's got a second opening here. And it's got the baffle in here. I did a video on that, on how to take these things out, and now I forget. Isn't that hilarious? So it's got a baffle in here it's supposed to remove. I forgot about that. I think this is just spot welded too. But this one is different from the ones that I remember. Spot welds. There are spot welds up here. Well, I guess let's put this to the side. A little grinder. This fit. Might, okay. So I might get a little lucky here. I'm going to get my grinding wheel on here and just whale away at this. Hey, Dan. Yep. Just email me. Battery can die. New battery. Yeah, Dan. Bob's got the email there. Just get rid of the extra ampersands. It's matty05@AOL.com. guess that battery's done too. Good thing I got lots of batteries. Okay. Got one side left. There we go. Now I might just be able to attack the spot welds too. If I could just zip, and grind right where the spot welds are, then it should just peel right out, theoretically. Yeah. Let's do that. Just a round carbide. Let's see if that was effective. There's one. Pop. I think I can get to the other three here, but getting to this side down here is going to be a little trickier. Almost. Let's see. That's two. Okay, cool. So 2 spot welds. That's done. Now I just have to get to the other 2, and then I got to figure out what to do with the other side. You may just bend it back and forth at that point. What's up? Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys the shirt. My buddy, Dave got me this for my birthday. So, you guys like it? Ran across the old bucket of bolts 359 during the motion. I box it up. Up to you. You're the man. You just let me know. You like it, Dan? I do too. I like it. A couple more seconds here. We'll have this zipped off and. More. So again, I'm just grinding on the spot welds here. Pull this stinking baffle out. Sometimes you just can get them. They just go kapop, and that's it. If you end up with really strong welds, then kudos to whoever did that. Make it a little lower. That goes. This one's pretty solid. They actually have special drills for spot weld, which is interesting, but Yeah, I can see it lifting. Get back down to the last one here. Modding mufflers is such a pain in the neck. Spot weld's actually slightly higher than I ground, I think. Okay. Slightly higher. Yep, all right, it let go. Now I just need to get the rest of this to let go. So, back and forth. I hope. A little metal fatigue. Yeah, I don't know, even if I can get this little one. Ooh, I might be able to get the little one down in there. So I actually save these cutoff wheels when they get down to small, because sometimes you need them in different sizes. Sometimes you need one that's worn down to get you into these places, you know? That's real small now, but that might have done it. Hey, Andrew. Ah, it's a Sarge. John, how are you? Sorry, just tearing a baffle out here. I don't want that. So, spot welds. Grind, 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 grind. Zip, zip. Jokes. Just gonna. obviously I can grind that smooth if I want to, but it doesn't really matter for what we're doing. What I am going to do, the hole here is a little bit on the small side. I'm going to grind that basically as far back as I can. Yeah. I can go in and put a huge deflector on this if I feel like it, but I don't think you really need to. Just want to open this up reasonable. Pretty good back. Need to go a little bit more this way. Yeah, so just open it a little bit more and it'll be better than it was, you know? Okay. Now, this has this opening, this butt I happen to have this one here, the highway cover. I'm going to chuck that because I just don't need it. Highway cover already has a reasonable opening in it. Right under like that. So, let's install it. Everybody's having a good time. Good. You know what I forgot to do? So I'm going to install the muffler, 2 screws to hold the muffler down. And we've got a muffler gasket. And does anybody know if on the 660 you've got a deflector? I don't know if there's a deflector on the 660. I don't remember. So for now, I'm going to just throw on the muffler, gentle. You can do all the port matching and whatnot if you like. I'm not going to bother with that for the moment. They look like M5 by 20 millimeters, somewhere around there. Pretty good, actually. Not too much in the way. Could grind this lip here out a little bit, but again, for what we're doing, I don't think it really matters that much. You really don't want any debris in there, that's for sure. I can put the cover on later. So let's all that stuff I can do with the cover elsewhere. Now we start opening up things and see, okay, what do we need, what do we not need? Another OEM oiler pinion. Lex Luthor. Hey, Lex. Greetings from... Is that Norway? Forgive me, where's the flag? I'm Swedish, I should know this. Where's that from? I should know this, I'm sure. Finland! See? Close. Should know this. Impulse line. It's an OEM impulse line. I got all kinds of OEM goodies here. Trigger parts. Through this, what I need. This is actually an OEM steel decomp and Woodruff keys. It's a trigger, there's a lockout. Yeah, you don't have to touch the mufflers, but I took the baffle off. I don't like those baffles. This is an OEM the multi-function switch or whatever this is called. Switch shaft 1122 182 0902. This is important to get your high idle functioning. Okay, do I put a Husky decomp in here or a steel decomp? May save that for another time. I need unless it's in here. Oh, look, there's the oiler. Unless there's a 660. Okay, there's not. So yeah, I think I'll just take one of these Woodruff keys and slip it out. The rest of this, I think I'll put here. Now, here's a Woodruff key. Do not want to lose that. Highway clutch assembly. As a general rule, I prefer these to the Farmer Techs. I'm going to put a steel decomp. Usually I do the Husky decomps. Usually. Those are two same parts. I won't need that. Put that there. Clutch. Just right there for the moment. You can start going through all the parts and say, what do I have? Oh, I got a whole bucket of goodies here. Jeepers. I think I need to get that oiler on first thing though. I think that's gonna be the next thing to do here. Do I have that? I do have that. There's the oiler. There's the oiler. So it is possible to modify this. For the most part, I don't think I'm going to do it right now, but it is possible to modify these. So let's focus on getting the oiler on. In order to do that, I need the oil dip tube, which I still don't see. Here's the oil pickup. This part I'll need too. Later. Two screws. I don't know if they're for the oiler or not. I don't think so. They probably don't need to be that long for the oiler. This is the chain adjuster. So that's here, and I assume that that goes there. So the steel decomp you don't have to hold down. If you, John, if you like the steel decomp on the 660, I'll try the steel decomp. You do? I'll put the steel one on, if you say so. Done. I've got both, but, you know, whatever. Oh, I don't hear it. 13mm sockets right here. Use this. Okay, don't lollygag on the starter. All right, that's on there. Nice. That was a little... There. I always forgot to put that little rubber piece on my other one. It never made a hoot of difference, but there, I always forget it. Okay, so now I'm not forgetting that. I still don't see the oil dip tube, so while we've got stuff to take apart, let's do the adjuster, or chain tensioner, whatever you want to call it. Little rubber O-ring goes there. Too much stuff on the dash. Fit. Get a screwdriver that does fit. Then just pop on. Maybe it will. So black piece pops on, pop, and then the little metal cover. Screw that a little too far. And the nylon piece goes here. This screw goes here. Okay. What's next here? That goes there. Still need to look for the oiler dip tube. So I've got the whole kit right here. If you can call it a kit, it's really not a kit. This is just technically what they call complete replacement parts. I don't believe this is intended to be a kit. And you can't ask me what the actual difference is because I don't know. And these Farmer Tech handles are junk, so I just throw that out. Gas tank. About that for the moment. Get there. The highway top handles are much better, so I use those. Here are the rubber bits. Farmer Tech bearing. I'm going to put that in my collection. Rubber bits. Okay. Flywheel. Good. Clutch and drum and rim. I don't think I'm going to use the clutch and drum. I'll grab the rim though, that's fine. Put this in the bag. Bag of stuff use for the moment. Carburetor, which I'm not going to use. I have an OEM carburetor to use. This stuff will be next. Alright. So, rubber bits. Okay. Farmer Tech intake boot toss. This rubber piece I'll use. The AV mounts I'll use. Oh, there's the boiler dip tube. AV mounts I'll use. Those will go in probably next thing. I forgot to get one of these. The upper AV mount. I really like to use OEM on this. Farmer Tech impulse line. Throw that out. This little piece again for the top. I already have one, so put that away for the moment. This lower AV mount, I think it goes there, but I don't know. Don't really remember. So it's the lower one, yeah, okay. I think it uses one of these little screws. That looks like M4 actually. So this AV mount I forgot in my bolt for bolt video when I did that series. Yeah, it would make sense to do it now. Now you can get to it through here. Yeah, there you go. Good. Oil pickup. I use the Farmer Tech one for now. Don't really care on this particular item. You can put goop on it if you like. I'm going to leave it dry for the moment. See how she does. So oil pickup line goes in. Okay. here. I think this piece of rubber goes between the oiler and the case. Similar actually to a 262 XP. Don't know which one of these came first, but 262 had basically the same idea. Are these M4? Hold down the oiler. Yes, they are. Okay. And these all have Loctite on them anyway, so for the moment I'm not too terribly concerned. The oiler fits perfectly fine here over that bearing. No trouble at all. All right. Here's your OEM worm. It goes around. Good. Now we need to fill in all this stuff. So Mega, this is, just so everybody knows, this is a partially OEM, partially aftermarket, partially Farmer Tech saw. It's basically partially everything. And Sarge, just so you know, I've got your tool right here. Comes in first. Okay. That goes here. Springs go in. There, the little spring there. The little spring on. This little pawl here grabs the spring and then onto the what do you call that? The nub sticking up. And you put your E-clip on there. And usually they love to go into the next county, these things, but is the handbrake right there. Unicorns. Just got done with 084. Wow. The big one. I haven't graduated to that size yet. I don't need to. I could have one, I think, if I wanted, but I really just haven't really needed to. You know what I mean? Okay. So now, in order to get this has to sit down, and you're going to pull the palm back. Or maybe push it forward first, like that. And if there's a little piece of junk in here, then you're not getting it anywhere. Debris or whatever in the hole. Okay. So the knee goes up here. This goes down there, just sits. That's nice. Get the knee onto this other nub here. Yeah, and in place. Pray that your E-clip is not in the next county. Your E-clip's on. So now, this whole thing is nearly ready to go. Let's get the chain brake stuff on here. And that just all fits in theoretically nice and neat. And the spring. Little rubber washer goes over the spring. And, uh-oh, where'd the sergeant's tool go? There it is. So, this is a, what is it, 3/16 for Allen, and it's ground down so it'll slide smooth, but what this does is this goes right over this nub here. You just stretch the spring and press it down. Now your spring's installed. I didn't come up with that, the Sarge did. So, cheap and effective. Who doesn't like cheap and effective? Yeah, I try to use like the cost-effective stuff for what this is, you know. I think the OEM carburetors make a big difference. Sooner or later I'm going to have to put the gas tank on. Okay. We'll get there. Let's do flywheel next, actually. Woodruff key. For now, I'm not going to do any advance on this. I can do advance if I want, but you don't necessarily need to. Put this on with a torque wrench in a minute. I just need to get it stable. We will torque that later while I'm over here. Do a little bit of... Uh-oh. It's not good. A little bit of dielectric grease on here. Shucks. You sure building this on a different sequence? The flywheel I put on as soon as I have the cases together. That little AV mount can be just put in. Okay. Well. Yeah. I'm following my nose right now. It's not, I've not built tons of these. I built a few, but not tons. You know, so just kind of following my own personal feel at this point. And also it's whatever I grab out of the thing too. Push stick, but whatever. How's that? There. Better? 15 people here watching. Who else is watching? At this point, I think I can put the clutch on. I have this kind of sitting in this particular orientation. Hey, Tim. Landon. Ordered kit. Pumped to get it. Good. Yeah. We're doing good. You know, hanging out. Click. Okay. Doing something. Here it is. This is actually an Oregon drum, which I do prefer to anything else. There we go. This looks like it's not quite far enough on. This ought to be interesting. So it looks like the clutch is not quite far enough down. See if that makes a difference. It looks better already. Okay. I need to hit that with some emery, actually. Nice to have a little bit of Scotch-Brite in there, actually. I think I've got a little Scotch-Brite. Do I? Yeah, that looks better. Except for the brake is binding. Why is it binding? brake is binding in some funny way. Maybe that'll correct itself. I kind of hope it will. It looks like the brake is actually grabbing on the drum right now, which isn't the best. Let me I'll take off the cover here in a minute, but let's see, will this fit on there? Oh yeah, perfect. Should we do an 8-pin? Yeah, an 8-pin right here, why not? Of course, the E-clip is now eluding me on this, of course. It's okay. I've got other clips. I'm not that worried. Everything else in my box of goodies. Oh, here's the clip. Found it. Jersey Joshua, 8-pin. It's in the side chain. Yeah, fast. Gonna try. Huh? There you go. Alright, I gotta take this off and figure out why the chain brake is binding. It's like it doesn't fully want to go home. Now the spring tension's good, but when it pushes this back, it doesn't seem like it wants to slide. The two pieces need to slide past each other. Doesn't look like it wants to do that. It looks like it wants to bind. Can I put a mark? I don't know if I can. Mark on it. Can't quite get a mark down to it. Okay, so it's split here, of course, and it's like there isn't enough room. This should just lift up. Why isn't it? There we go. Just lift up. So it maybe this is too rough. and just needs to be polished a bit. So let's do that. These two pieces want to bind together instead of slide past each other. Put a sanding drum on my Dremel here. Just give it a quick sand, put it back in, and see what happens. Just going to round it and just so it wants to slide instead of bind, that's all. I don't know if that'll do it, but these pieces should slide past each other, you know? There's also no in between here. Ah, easier to take the drum off. I know. I should take the drum off. Shh, it's okay. Oh, I see. It's actually slightly too low on the casting. I need to lift it up just a shade and then it'll be fine. How do I do that? Well, take off the clutch, obviously. All right. So I'll show you guys where it's binding. Right here, it needs to be sitting properly on the casting, and it's not. There. Now it's sitting properly down on the casting. Now, I don't know if that's repeatable. That's the problem there. Let's put the clutch back on and see. A lot of this stuff is pretty exact. You think about how exact that needs to be in order for everything to be just right. That's correct. That went in just fine there. Maybe it just needs to get used to doing the right thing. Okay. Put this back on. Yeah, that's right now. Okay. Braille Stack Maple Syrup Bourbon Barrels Pizza and Mr. Matt building it sauce. Hit the clutch with my impact. I hit the clutch with my impact to get the E-clip on the sprocket washer. No, you don't need to. No, the issue with the spacing was I had the washer, the big washer inside flipped upside down, and that was preventing the clutch from going all the way on. You don't need to over torque that. Landon, so is there a ridge that fit it? Yeah, like casting marks where it should ride above the casting. There's a lip there, and it was actually down far enough that it was catching on the lip and puckering out. If that's what makes, Okay. So, what's next? Go into my bucket of these here. Two screws. Take care, Tim. Thanks for coming by. Again, we're going to go easy on this for the moment. Going to come back to that. I think we need to get a handle on here. I think this is this rubber piece here. If I had to guess. I think I need to put the AV mount here on before I do. So I need, those are M5, probably short ones. These will do. ideally a OEM piece here, because these do. I had my other one. My other one gave up, so nice OEM piece to have. Okay, we're actually coming down to it, which is pretty cool. I think we got to get to the tank at this point. Looking forward to this because this stuff has been clogging up, really clogging up my my life for a while. So let's start changing stuff out. So, unfortunately on this, you kind of need to change stuff out here. John Albrecht, howdy. Wow, they put this in way too tight. So much so this screw is now stripped out. Lovely. Need to find a new screw. Great. Alright, so that comes up and off. I'm going to change out all these components except for the throttle. The throttle rod I think I'll keep. So, multi-function switch, junk. All these other switches, junk. I'll just switch these out for OEM right now. They're such exact pieces that they really kind of need to be, how do you say it? They need to be exact, you know? Just open it up a little bit so I can slide this copper piece in there. Further. Yeah, okay. Good. Multi-function switch. And it's back basically where it should be. Okay. Get to the other pieces in a minute. I'm going to pull out the fuel line here. There's an elbow, comes out. And And this piece I'm going to replace with R3. Elbow I'm going to keep. The OEM fuel line here, or the OEM, I'm going to put in OEM fuel line. I'm going to see if I push this into the tank. Push this in, pull it out. Just try to grab it. I forgot to pull off the fuel filter. For some reason, I don't mind using these fuel filters. But this rubber stuff, I'm really not sure that I trust this. You know what I mean? Okay. Junk. What parts are OEM? I'm putting a lot of OEM parts in here. So what I start with, I tend to start with an OEM wrist pin and pin bearing. I think that's probably one of the most important OEM parts of the whole build. I mean, you can do the whole thing in OEM if you feel like it, but if you're gonna start doing OEM stuff, then you really want to do that first. Just fishing down the rubber line here. And a set of hemostats is insanely helpful. Perfect. Now it's down, it's sitting. Good. Bring this out here, put your fuel filter on it. Make sure you can suck through, make sure it's patent essentially. OEM impulse line. So so what parts do I like here? Actually, let's do this first. I like the highway gasket kit, the highway gasket and seal kit. I happen to have on this one, this is an experimental one, we've got an OEM Husky PTO bearing, which by the way I think is going to work fine. Hey Daryl. I thought for sure Mason would be by. I'm going to switch out the Chinese line for steel R3. Let's see, what other OEM parts? I have a Meteor piston, caber ring, ported top end. The machine work on the porting was done by Rattler. So if anybody needs any work done, Rattler is a really great go-to on that. You spent did a tree job today. Okay. Do you make any money? Hope you made some money. It's like it's not quite home here. Greg Myers, what's going on? Oh, we're just screwing around here. 19 people watching on a Sunday evening. Close enough. Okay. This is going to go here. It's just a 90-degree elbow. Press down. This is ported. This is a fresh build. Completely fresh build. Ported. Messed with. This is basically to replace the one that got stolen. Because the only one that they stole was my 660. Which Mason and I worked on forever. I mean, it was crazy how much work we did to that thing. Alright, so impulse line is here. That's good. Electrical there. So we've got, okay, so it's hard to go through and say what all is OEM. You have to go back and see. But let me complete this, and we'll try to go through this and go through that, and we'll give some OEM whatnots is. Trigger, OEM trigger piece, and this is the OEM lockout switch. Direction. There we go. Lift up on the trigger, the lockout switch goes underneath. That way when this drops, then you can actually squeeze the trigger. Nope. Still not quite right. There. That has to be it. Trigger backwards? No. That should all be good there. Gently, gently, gently. Throttle in. This piece on down here. And what's in the way? right. What's in my way? Oh, I see. That does not completely return. Let's put it back together and see what happens. Then lift up. And this wants to stay down. It does not want to lift up. See? It is funny how, like, I have trouble with Huskies here, too. I wonder if when the carburetor's in, it'll be okay. Let me see if I can get a different screw here. Let's see, steel stuff. I've got a bucket of steel stuff here somewhere. Steel fasteners. What can I use? I wonder. Yeah, I think it'll be okay once I get the carburetor in there. All right. Make sure the lines are not in the way of the throttle. Good. All right, so all OEM parts are on here as of right now. Well, everything I wanted to switch out anyway. Just going to put the gas cap on for the moment. And I think we install it. This is the item if it ain't. Husky 268. Well, yeah, hang on. Tell it. HS328, tell us. Tilly? I've got a telly here. We're going to try it. OEM. So let's see where this goes. This, it's just one of those things that they decided it'd be easier to make this a pain in the neck than it would be to make it easy. There. So that's close. It's close enough to get the impulse line on, and then we have to get the intake boot, which is OEM. So, you know, go for OEM rubber if you can. I like the highway seals gasket kits that are available for this because it's so complete. Makes my life easier in that way. On the boot, you can actually use, I've showed how to do the nylon string trick to bring the boot through, but you can just do it with a set of hemostats. Work it through nice and gentle. There we go. Okay. Yeah, if it don't fit, force it. Right. Sure. Whatever. Okay, so it's not going to get in the way of the muffler there. Rubber parts, this black plastic part goes on the tilly here, same as the Walbro. Here's the outer ring for the carburetor bolts. It's awfully tight for some reason, but okay. And there's an inner ring, which is right here. Carburetor goes on. And then the throttle here just slides right in. Perfect. I'm going to hold the carburetor on. Make sure the throttle actuates fine. Yeah, with a little bit of tension on the throttle, this comes back just fine. Okay. Gas line attach. Okay, what's next? This is not an OEM part. This baffle piece here comes like that. And then you have the retainer here. And two nuts. Yeah, some stuff is kind of like a guaranteed how it goes, but stuff not. Please tell me how to do it backwards. Perfect. Okay. These goodies here. I think these are the top cover screws. And I think one of these is the AV mount screw here, which is fine. How about these? These are the short ones, I think. Do you guys think we're going to have a pop tonight? I don't know. I got to get to the electronics and whatnot over here. We'll definitely do that here in a second. Good. Too much stuff. Let's clean up. Just a few things here. There's this rubber piece right here. Be good to throw these two through there first, and then I can. Here. Again, I have to gap the coil here, which I will do quickly and easily, but one second. So I'm going to take the screw out. I've got the ground here. Alright, so you have to have the coil loosey-goosey. go? Do these go underneath there? Might. Okay, yeah, coil, loosey-goosey. Sarge, I'm using your card. Gentle. There you go, gapped. Have had no luck with 360 oil lines. Did you see my video from the other night on the 260? And they're using R3 fuel line for oil line in the 260. OEM. So don't spend like $3 on that. That's tight. This needs to be tightened. Some nylon string in there. I use like 13 foot-pounds. The spec is probably closer to like 26. I don't over-torque those. Because I want to get them off later, you know what I mean? They end up pretty tight on there anyway. Okay. BPMR7. Oh, I can't put that until later anyway. Okay, starter. And then top handle, we might be able to get a compression number. Pretty cool, huh? Not captured bolts. I like the metal starter, but Husky uses captured bolts, which I definitely prefer. Good. Top handle, which is over here. Yeah, it's looking like a saw, huh? You fixed your brand new saw. Yeah. Get that screw on the handle cover. This one? The handle cover? Here? Mason's here? No, Daryl's here. I haven't seen Mason show up yet. He might. I think the longer ones here go in the side. On the ugly side, but whatever. Okay. See if we can get a compression number. I may not be able to. Is this for customer? This is for me. This is to replace the one that got stolen. Oh man. There's 120, 140 still with the decomp in. 150 still with the decomp in. Decomp out. Here we go. Here's where we separate the men from the boys. 180. 190. 200. 205. 210. There's 210. Who had 210? Anybody? Yeah, so this was to replace the stolen saw from this summer. Sucks. Thanks, 210. You like that? You like that? Who wouldn't like that? I gotta put the muffler piece on here anyways. It'll be a little extra loud. Loud's fine, but you know, too loud no good. See if she pops. Hopefully, like the tank doesn't leak or something stupid, you know. Those things happen. We go, yeah, well, wish I could figure out who did it. They got the welders, and they got my 660, and they took my DeWalt circular saw. Just stupid, because I just went and bought another one. Plug lead should be in the groove under the starter cover. Okay. Hang on. There might be a... Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about. Oops. Okay, so let's not mess around with that. Thank you, Stanley. Right there, what Stanley's talking about right there. So there's choke. Oh, wait a minute, we need to put the exhaust cover on here, otherwise problems. We got a few other minor things to do other than this, but we'll at least get a pop out of this, I think. Strip that out. Too short. Okay. All right, here we go. Fire in the hole. Okay. You want to get a feel for it, okay? Decomp on. Decomp's already out. There's your pop. Who was counting? Push it down to full choke. Push it up. Yeah, all that stuff works. Okay, so let's see if we can go over what I've done that's OEM and what's not. So, pin bearing, wrist pin, OEM. Nachi, aftermarket crank. Nachi 6203 flywheel side bearing. Husky 390 XP PTO side bearing. as a replacement for the steel OEM bearing. There are lots of reasons for that. Have to go check out the other video. Aftermarket flywheel, aftermarket coil, highway seal kit. Really, I don't need it for the PTO bearing because it's got an integral seal. I used it for the flywheel side seal though. Aftermarket muffler with a highway dual port on the front. What else? Let's keep going. Aftermarket crankcase, Meteor piston, caber rings, Farmertech top end, ported and Rattler modified. Anybody wants to have Rattler do any modifications, please contact him through the forum. OEM boot. Happens to be used, I think, but it's still an OEM boot. They're like $40. They're not cheap. Highway handle, very nice. Aftermarket brake handle. This seems to be fine. I prefer an aftermarket upper AV mount, or a OEM upper AV mount. This one happens to be aftermarket. Tillotson carburetor, or you can use a Walbro, whatever works for you. I have a highway clutch, Oregon drum, 8-pin rim, aftermarket oiler, OEM oiler worm. That's very important. Aftermarket AV mounts. May want to change those out in the future. Steel OEM decomp, but it pops right out just as bad as the Husky, so I don't see necessarily that there's tons of point there, but whatever. What was the saw cost of the saw before work? What do you mean? How much did this cost me to put together? I have no idea. Not cheap. If I had to guess, including the machining and everything, you're probably looking at $700 as it sits, maybe more. Just parts. Yep, you can pull the boot and the rear handle with a string. You can. I don't necessarily find the need for it, but you certainly can. Was it built from the ground up? Yes. I have other videos working on this saw, probably spanning back months. We finally got the cases together just the other night, so you can look at the lives from most recent. Plug the T-shirt again? Okay. Well, it's not, you know. It's a birthday present from a buddy of mine. Yeah, 210 compression, somewhere around there. So it should be good. So I've got a few other minor things to slap on here, but basically this saw is going to be ready for some testing. So hopefully I'll get this out to Mason pretty soon and he can have a good time with it, you know. I gotta get something out of my basement. I got so much stuff in my basement here. I gotta get rid of it, you know. It's time to call it on that sort of stuff. So, questions, comments, anything else? Thanks, Bob. Yep. If anybody needs crank tools to put the crank whatnot together, let me know. I will have stock soon. I do not have stock right this second, but I think in about a couple of weeks I'll definitely have stock. Yeah, Landon, just so everybody knows, they can put me on, you can put me on fast forward if you, because this stuff gets terribly boring, but there is a setting for YouTube, and you can actually do like 1.5 times speed, 1.75 times speed, and still get a lot of it, and just still watch, and it's a whole lot shorter to watch. Next project, I have the 262 that I'm working on. That's coming. I still have to finish up the 026 Pro, and I have to troubleshoot the 440, 460 big bore hybrid that ate a starter again. So there's a number of things to do. Questions, comments, anything else, guys? Am I still pulling teeth? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That may change, but that's a different topic. We will. There may be some change in that coming. I just don't know what. So when I figure it out, I will let you guys know. So if anybody wants crank tools, please contact me. Please email me. Bob showed my email information there, so you can email me. I'll send you a form letter on the crank tools. It's the best way to support the channel. That, or you can use my link for HL Supply. It's in any of my bolt for bolt videos under the description. There's a link for HL Supply. You can just go there, click on that, and it'll track you, and anything that you buy, basically I get credit for, and that's the easiest way to support the channel. I do have a small HL Supply order coming soon, which is cool. So I've got a few things still in the works. I know there's some other stuff that's coming. I just don't know exactly what and when. Questions, comments, anything else? If I find something wrong with this, obviously I'll let you guys know. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This would be a fun piece. So I'm gonna run. I will catch you guys. Am I doing a Christmas Day build? No. I doubt it. I'm gonna be busy over the next couple weeks. I've got some personal stuff to take care of, so I will be around as soon as I possibly can again to do whatever else needs done. Hey, Sammy. Working on 262. Yeah, I've got Mason brought me one to work on, and the only thing I gotta do here is, unfortunately, in transit the fin broke, so I gotta weld that back if I can. I'm gonna test out my welding skills. Weld that fin back, and then work on actually getting that head cleaned up and installed on the saw. So I need a clear day where I can go out and do some welding. And now I've got I've got a foot of snow outside, so it'll be a little more tricksy to do, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna run. Sammy will keep in touch, and I need to go. I need to go to the folks and do that machining for your cylinder head there. So that's kind of next on the list. As soon as I get that machined, then basically the rest of that saw goes together in probably very similar fashion to I just did this one. I just need to get down to the folks. That's all. So hopefully I'll do that in the next week or two. Just awfully cold to go out and use the Bridgeport outside. Anywho, yeah. that's that, and I will chat with you guys later, okay? Thanks to my buddy Dave for the t-shirt, and email me if you guys need anything, okay? See you guys. Have a great night.